here on the left-hand side of the viewing space, and I want to welcome you to today's Sea Lion Show. I'm so excited that all of you have come to join us to meet some amazing marine mammals who are helping us to solve the mysteries of their species. Let's start by meeting the animal wearing a big red shirt. His name is Billy. Can we hear a big round of applause for him? Well, come on out, Billy. And standing a flipper in our direction are two incredible stellar sea lions who go by the names of Ashby and Izzy. Ashby and Izzy are going to make some noise for us. And now can we make a bit of noise for them? What? Stellar sea lions, like them, are an incredible group of animals. The Vancouver Aquarium study these creatures to learn more about their kind and some of the challenges that they're facing in their natural habitat. By visiting our facility, you're helping scientists to discover more about the mysteries of this species. First off, however, one mystery that I'd like to clear up is, why am I calling these animals sea lions? Hands up, how many of you feel really good about knowing the difference between a sea lion and a seal? Okay, a few hands. And how many of you aren't sure? Ooh, it looks like we might need to review. Well, take a look at the sea lions as they come out of the water. These animals are members of the pinniped group, including sea lions, seals, and walrus. Notice that means that they have fin or feather-like appendages, or flippers, that they use to move around on their front end and their back end. However, true seals don't usually have the same sense of balance as stellar sea lions. They keep their center of gravity low to the ground and tend to squeeze around on land like inchworms. Sea lions, on the other hand, are much more nimble. Notice that their front flippers are quite large, and their rear or hind flippers can pivot forward, allowing them to sometimes outrun people on the rocks of our beaches. Sea lions are able to hold their necks up high, and this posture is very characteristic of their kind, but not usually seen in seals. Another difference is how they swim. Whereas seals tend to move their back ends back and forth, left and right, in order to push themselves through the water, sea lions, like Izzy and Ashby here, will use their powerful front flippers to propel themselves through the water in a sort of wing-like motion. Stellar sea lions are the biggest sea lions in the world. Sometimes they've been known to reach speeds of 27 kilometers or 17 miles per hour using those flippers, and I think that that's pretty incredible. In addition to being so agile, however, that does mean that these animals can be hard to see in terms of their body proportion and the way that they carry themselves if you find them in the water rather than on land. So here's a little tip for playing seal or no seal. I want you to look on the side of Izzy and Ashby's heads and spot their little stellar sea lion ear flaps. Put your hands on your ears if you can see their little ear flaps. Good. While sea lions, like stellar sea lions, do have these visible cartilaginous flaps, true seals just look like they have holes in their heads without an external floppy ear. You might say that seals have ears that look sealed, while sea lions have ears that are visible. Keep this in mind if ever you're spotting an animal out in the waters off of our coast and aren't sure what to call it. In spite of those differences, remember that seals and sea lions have lots in common as well. All pinnipeds are part of the carnivore order. And what does it mean to be a carnivore? That you eat meat. Good. So for this species, fish, squid, crustaceans like shrimp and crabs are all potentially on the menu. The powerful jaws that are in their mouths are the only weapon a stellar sea lion needs to be an effective hunter. However, these creatures are also surprisingly not the biggest hunters in their natural homes. They'll sometimes fall prey to really large sharks or the big killer whales that eat marine mammals off our coast. Because of this, stellar sea lions play two roles in our ecosystems, predators and prey, and play a key role in the balance of our oceans. That balance can shift if these animals begin to decline, however, and studying these creatures is quite important. Trainers like Billy work with them on a daily basis in order to ensure that these animals are well cared for, and in order to ensure that we can conduct meaningful research projects as well. To tell us more about his work, I'm going to pass the mic over to Billy now.
Thanks, Derek, and welcome everybody. Not only are stellar sea lions animals found off our coast, but they're large animals as well. In fact, today, Izzy to my left weighed 196 kilos, and Ashby here to my right weighed 186 kilos, so both around the 400 to 500 pound mark. You may be wondering how I weigh these girls and how I do it every single day. So I'll walk them off display to a large plate scale. The plate scale back here is just beyond that gate to my left. Once I get them to sit on the plate scale for an accurate measurement, I'll bring them back into the pool for exercise behaviors, training research behaviors, as well as husbandry for their general care. And these are all things that I could not do without a developed relationship. I myself have been lucky enough to be on the project now for 20 years and working with both these girls since they were pups. And they're both 12 years old now. And it's developed through three main components. Component number one is social interaction. This social interaction you'll see every day between the trainers and the animals, as well as the animals and other animals. Occasionally we'll have harbor seals mixed in with the Steller sea lions. Component number two is consistency between trainers. And thirdly, and probably most importantly, positive reinforcement. And you'll see this reinforcement in the form of fish in my buckets here, but throughout the day it comes in many other forms like playtime and toys. But without this relationship, we don't have the same level of success that we have today. Thanks everybody. Thanks Derek.
And thank you, Billy. Why don't we give trainer Billy a big round of applause for this trainer moment. Working alongside sea lions Izzy and Ashby is a tremendous opportunity for our staff, but it takes a lot of time, trust, and patience in order to work closely with these animals. Historically, Steller sea lions have been thought of as kind of a fearsome species, and a lot of the work that's been done understanding their biology has only been completed in the past few decades. Here at the Vancouver Aquarium, we're proud to be pioneers in Steller sea lion research. And in addition to understanding the problems that these creatures are facing through much of the northern range of their natural habitat, from Alaska to Russia, recently our work has brought us in touch with some Steller sea lions in the waters of British Columbia. How many of you are locals to our coast? Hands up. Excellent. And how many of you have ever found a piece of garbage on a beach? Yeah, just about everybody in the crowd. Sea lions can be quite vulnerable to large bits of garbage, like nets that have been thrown overboard and discarded from boats, like fishing lines that have been thrown overboard and are no longer in use. If these animals become entangled in those objects, especially at a young age, they can stop their bodies from growing properly, and the sea lions can eventually die from those injuries. Until the Vancouver Aquarium began working with Steller sea lions, there was no way for veterinarians to safely approach these large and powerful species to safely help to disentangle them from these objects. However, because of veterinary advancements made here at the Vancouver Aquarium, we've now developed the technology that we need to be able to approach Steller sea lions in their natural habitat, put an individual to sleep for a short time, and have a certified veterinarian remove objects that these animals are entangled in. So far, more than a dozen sea lions have been rescued in this way from the waters off of our coast and from the neighboring coast off of Washington and Oregon. These animals have included several Steller sea lions and some members of the smaller but equally amazing California sea lion species. The ability to save the lives of those animals is a direct result of our ability to work up close with some Steller sea lions like Izzy and Ashby here at this facility. Research here at the Vancouver Aquarium isn't just helping us to understand the species, it's helping us to protect members of their kind as well. We couldn't do this amazing work without the continued support of visitors like you. And I hope that all of you are now feeling a little bit more amazed by the world of Steller sea lions and the mysteries that we're hoping to solve. On behalf of myself, marine mammal trainer Billy, who's been such a great sport helping us out today, and of course, the Steller sea lions Izzy and Ashby, thank you for joining us for today's 12 o'clock Sea Lion Talk. Let's hear a big round of applause for the people and the animals who made this such a possible. Thanks everybody. It's always a pleasure working alongside the Steller sea lions. And if you have any questions about these creatures, my name again is Derek, and I'd be happy to chat with you over here at the gated area to my right. I can also give you more information about how to upgrade your admission stake to a membership so that you can continue doing research of your own in our galleries. Our next talks are going to include two really cool programs also featuring marine mammals. At 12:45 across the way, I'll be doing the talk with the dolphins. Or if you prefer, you can wander up to the Canada's Arctic viewing area and we'll do a 12:45 beluga show as well. If you need help deciding which one to go to, or if you need directions to other things, come over to my gate. I would be happy to chat with you. Thanks again for joining us at the Vancouver Aquarium, folks.